How's it going, everyone? We've got some major Stellar Blade updates. We've got an update on the sales number, a big update will be dropping in August, and more updates are on the way for the game. It looks like Shift Up is going to be keeping the momentum of Stellar Blade running throughout the entirety of the year, and the outline that they've dropped, at least what they have planned, is exactly how I would handle the structuring of keeping the content updates rolling with this game and keeping the momentum rolling as well. And if what they outlined comes to fruition, I think this game has a lot of potential to continue its success throughout the year. Obviously, the game has already sold the bulk of its copies that it's gonna sell. That's just how gaming works. In terms of, in that short time window, a game is always usually gonna peak right when it comes out, especially a big budget single player game like this. But it looks like they're going to do a good job keeping this game in the news cycle. Right off the top, total sales for Stellar Blade have surpassed 1 million units, developer Shift Up has announced. Now, if you're familiar with a lot of the major PlayStation 5 exclusives, that might not sound like an incredibly successful number, given that, you see the sales numbers for Spider-Man 2, God of War, etc., Final Fantasy 16 even, and that game was deemed to be a bit of a commercial disappointment to Square Enix. I don't know how accurate that assessment would be from Square, but that game did really well, as did all of the other aforementioned games. Stellar Blade topping 1 million is an incredibly successful number, because when you look at the style of game that it is, a big budget single player game, a brand new IP, a $70 release, it being an exclusive. The other games are exclusive as well, but don't take anything away from it. It's an exclusive and a new IP, and it's coming from an unknown studio as well. When you have all of that come together, you are fighting a pretty uphill battle. Look at the Callisto Protocols of the world, look at the Immortals of Aveums, look at the Wild Hearts, and so on and so forth. There are so many games that have come out, new IPs, that release at $70, and they end up just being commercial disasters, ends up leading to people getting laid off, studios shutting down, so on and so forth. Stellar Blade has bucked that trend, and obviously there have been other games that have done very well with all of those factors in play, but Stellar Blade selling over 1 million copies, incredibly successful number, especially when you're talking about a new IP. It would be most advantageous to release this game on as many platforms as possible, at the very least PC, because I think the PC audience would have absolutely gravitated towards this game. PlayStation, however, did have a hand in making this game happen, so it is what it is. Did very well on PS5, and Shift Up has officially announced that the photo mode update for the game will be added to the game via a free update in the month of August. Not only that, so that's a huge note, new outfits will be coming after October, large-scale IP collaboration by the end of the year, additional DLC and a sequel under review to be released in the future. Look, the fact that they're even making note of that, at the very least, the sequel will be happening. DLC, on the other hand, I don't know about, but I think it just makes so much sense. First of all, look at the success level this game has had. People are already wanting more. Whenever I talk about new outfits and whatnot, people are excited about it. I see people commenting, talking about with an IP collaboration, if there was, let's say, a Nier costume released of 2B, or there's Street Fighter costumes, other Final Fantasy costumes, so on and so forth, people would actually spend money on it. You could do Horizon costumes, Ghost of Tsushima, to keep it in the PlayStation family, but that's a way to monetize the game, and people are willing to drop money on that. You damn right people would be willing to drop $20, $30 on a sizable DLC. I'm not saying it's gotta be Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. I don't think it's gotta be, 30, 40 hours. You wanna do everything, you can get 50 hours, 70 hours of gameplay out of Erdtree, but you get the idea. I think something that's a 6 to 10 hour experience people would spend $20 on, and people would be happy with it. 6 to 10 hours, throw some replayability aspects to it, throw in some additional costumes to it, boom, you're cooking. And not only that, you release a DLC now, and down the line, you do a complete edition release on PlayStation 5, and when you do ultimately port the game onto PC, we've talked about it before, and Sony's figured out the formula that makes it work. You release it at $60 in the form of a complete edition, and then people are gonna be like, okay, it's $60, it's a year after release, 16 months after release, but I do get all the content in it. They'll be incentivized to buy it even at a premium price point. It just makes all the sense in the world, and it's exactly how you get the most mileage out of these games. These games are not cheap to develop. get the most amount of mileage for it. If you're gonna sink so much money into it, get mileage out of it. Monetize the game accordingly. And, you know, I'm not saying throw in microtransactions to the nth degree, but how do you get the most mileage out of the game without upsetting the consumer? What I outlined is exactly how you do it. Now, ideally, with a game like this, you would want it to be released on all platforms at the same time. That would be absolutely ideal, but Sony's gonna come in, they're gonna do their timed exclusivity, whatever, and I don't know how the PC release is gonna work given that this isn't a first-party game, so I don't know if the agreement Sony has with ShiftUp has them in place of being the decision maker, the shot caller on when the PC version happens, or if it's a 12-month window. I don't know. We don't know about that, but it is a PlayStation-published game on PlayStation 5, so I don't think it'll be on Xbox. I do think it'll be on PC, but you look at a game like Nioh, exact same thing, developed by Team Ninja, but published by Sony throughout the world, and that game never came out on Xbox. I imagine Stellar Blade will be handled similarly, and Nioh was a game that, you know, 9 months after its initial PlayStation release, it came out on PC as well, so I imagine something similar here with Stellar Blade. But the future of this IP, not just the sequel, looks incredibly promising, and they're doing the level of staggered updates that I think will continue to keep this game in the news cycle throughout the entirety of the year. And when the fall rolls around, you can discount the game to like $40, and you'll have a jolt of new people checking it out. Maybe couple it in with the announcement of a DLC that's coming in 2025, and people will have reinvested interest. More people will continue to check out the game. I'm not saying this game is going to crack 3 million copies sold by the end of the year, unless a PC release happens, but I think the game can generate a healthy level of interest throughout the entirety of the year, and having these staggered updates and already outlining that photo mode, new outfits, large-scale IP collaboration, which hopefully, I don't know if it's going to be multiple games. I would do one at a time, because you're going to get a healthy level of buzz just by announcing something like a Nier crossover, or a Horizon crossover, or a God of War crossover with new outfits. That's going to get a healthy level of interest, and then that will hold you over until the next thing, and the next thing, and you keep this game in the news cycle going forward, and you're monetizing this game accordingly without upsetting the consumer. I think that is of utmost importance. I think people bought Stellar Blade for $70, they got their value out of Stellar Blade for $70, and now 6 months after release, you want to do some IP crossover collaboration and release costumes at $4.99 or whatever. I don't think that's going to upset people too much. I think if you want to do DLC and you announce it by the end of the year, and it comes out, let's say, in Q1, Q2 of 2025, I don't think people are going to be upset by that. I think when the PC release comes out, you bundle in said DLC, you price it at $60, I think people will be more than happy to pick that up. I think the PC modding community will be absolutely fiendish with Stellar Blade, but you know, it is what it is. And then when you ultimately do get to a sequel, that's probably not going to happen until 27, 28. People will be excited about that as well, because you've also done a good job of keeping this game consistently in the discussion. Just think, ShiftUp and PlayStation. I don't know what involvement PlayStation had, but everybody should be commended. First of all, going back to that state of play in January and how this game was promoted, the game itself was awesome, and now following the release of the game, it has done well, but they've also done a tremendous job of keeping the discussion rolling after the release of the game. Just beautiful execution. You see so many games have, you know, just garbage execution, garbage promotion. Stellar Blade knocked it out of the park. Black Myth Wukong right now is knocking it out of the park. I think a game like Expedition 33, even though that's a ways away, knocked it out of the park with the trailer. I'm happy to see some of these games get promoted properly, and obviously also be good, instead of getting, you know, burger trailers and things of that nature. But really excited for the future of Stellar Blade, and a really exciting roadmap of content ahead. That's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.